podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Hello everyone and welcome to your post-match Howie the podcast. It's Gav and you join us just after Sunderland's 1-0 win in Philadelphia. I nearly said Pennsylvania. Philadelphia over Wrexham. Phil Parkinson's Wrexham, of course, and George Dobson's Wrexham. Nathan Broadhead's Wrexham. Callum Doyle's Wrexham. Yes, we did get one over on a few of our old friends today, and we're going to chat all about it. Joining me for today's episode is Kelvin. Hello, mate.
Hello, lad. Yeah. I'm just finished doing cartwheels and somersaults round the blimmin' lounge there.
It's nice to see us win, even when it's a daft friendly, and I love it, me. I've been building up for the game all day. I've been trying to keep myself busy. I've been, trying to keep myself occupied just because I thought, I've got to wait till 5 o'clock for this one, which wasn't quite as bad as staying up till 12:30 like I did the other night, but still having to wait all day for the game. And I've just been buzzing, looking forward to it. And the one thing I didn't want to happen was to see us get beat, and we managed to win. We played fairly well, and like I say, I wasn't quite doing cartwheels, but it wasn't far off. I did enjoy it.
Agree. Yeah, I thought it was a good workout, good game. There's a bit to be taken away from the game for sure.
Yeah. Oh, we at times were excellent. I think I've seen all of the games in pre-season so far, and I think that was the sharpest we've looked. I think that was the most dominant we've looked. And yeah, you've got to take into consideration that we were playing a championship side, but at the same time, and I know results aren't important in pre-season necessarily, but Wrexham have beaten Man United, they've beaten Leeds, who we got beat off. They took Liverpool right until the last sort of 10-15 minutes before Liverpool got a winner against them. And most importantly, Wrexham's season starts next weekend. So their first game of the season is next weekend. So this is their last pre-season game, the last chance to get any mistakes out, probably fielding their strongest team for the majority of the game and giving minutes to their most important players. So that in itself was a test for us. And despite the fact that the majority of the team have barely played more than half an hour, yet alone 45 minutes, we looked really good at times. And we'll get on to how the game played out, but certainly when the best, what I would consider our strongest team, were on the pitch, we looked really good at times, and some of the football was lovely. And it was just a pleasure to watch. Actually, I really enjoyed watching us.
There was some lovely passages of play, especially for the first hour. Some lovely passages of play, accepting that we were playing Wrexham championship side. But I think that I had a look prior to the game at the players that they were playing last season, and most of the side that started, I think the boy Imre is a new player. He looked all right, him actually.
Okay.
For 25 minutes. But most of that side played lots and lots of games for Wrexham last season. So fair play. That probably would be their strongest side, and I think we've done all right there.
Yeah, absolutely we did. And it was the first time we got to see Robin Roofs. He didn't have much to do, to be fair. Robin Roofs, he was kept very quiet. There was a couple of balls went across the box, but he never had to make a big save or anything. But he was, very assured on the ball. I thought some of his passing actually was good. In some of the other games when Elborg's been on the ball, for me, he's taken a little bit too long to pass it and been a bit too patient, where Roofs was zipping it into midfield to get Sadiki and Diarra going. And that really helped set the tempo. I thought the back four was organised. Wrexham never troubled them. Mukiele, I love him as a centre-half. For me, he's the best centre-half we've got. I just think he's got everything. But it's annoying because he's also the best bloody right-back we've got. And he was a menace down that side and took his goal lovely. But I just a word for that back five, actually, because, they did put a shift in, but there was a noticeable difference in quality between our defense and their attack,
For
and
sure.
I love that. It's almost like holding your opponent at arm's length, saying, you're not going to land a dig on me, little boy. It was a bit like that. We didn't even have to break a sweat to handle, particularly Kiefer Moore, who in the past has been a bit of a thorn in our side. I mean, he
Yeah,
was
yeah,
our best ally when we played Sheffield United in the playoff final, um,
yeah.
yeah, just a word for the defence, Calvin, because I thought they did well.
Very, very well. Look O'Nien again. What a play, what a cracking player for Sunderland he is. I know we've waxed lyric about him in the past, but that 60 minutes that he was on the pitch, he hardly put a foot wrong and
Mhm.
he makes the game look quite easy sometimes, especially Dan Ballard beside him. I thought Ballard looked more like himself and, was getting stuck in. Yeah, fair play to the defence. And as you say about Mukiele, what a player going forward he is. It's like he puts a different head on, isn't
Yes.
it? Right, I'm not defending now, I'm attacking. So this is how I do this, and he's just got something, hasn't he?
Oh,
He
lovely.
draws you in. He draws you in. We've got a few players like that playing for us now that they just draw you into them and make you want they make you want to support them.
Absolutely.
Brilliant, brilliant
Yeah. I,
character. Yeah,
I absolutely love Nordi Mukiele. I think he's fantastic. And if we hadn't had such a good season, you would have said he was our player of the season. He was
yeah.
that good, but
Mm,
Enzo Lefebvre and Granit Xhaka were also brilliant, and countless others. But he's a brilliant player, and I love watching him when he's at full
mm,
flow down that right hand side. He's like a traction engine when he's running at people because he's so powerful and
mm,
quick, and he's got great technique. I mean,
mm,
that's not the first time we've seen him do what he did.
mm.
And the goal, let's get onto the goal, because this was a bit of fantastic football from Sunderland. The way we built it up, it was just pass, pass, pass. We used Brian Brobbey in the way you have to use him, which was get it into his feet, let him dig in up against the defender and play someone off. And it's a lovely little cushioned layoff to Nordi, but the angle's still tight. And yeah, the Wrexham keeper probably could have done better. It was interesting listening to the ex-Wrexham goalie on co-commentary on the stream I was watching,
Yeah,
basically make excuses for the lad, saying,
yeah,
for me, the keeper should do better. But I think it all happens that quickly when you watch it in real time. It's a very quick move from us.
yeah.
And by the time Brobbey's laid it off, no sooner has Nordi put the ball in the back of the net, it was a lush goal, like a proper pre-season training ground effort, which just came off and made us look mint. And even the Welsh commentators that I heard, they couldn't do anything but praise Sunderland for that goal.
Aye, aye. Yeah. No, the speed that the ball got worked. I thought the sharpness and the angle of the shot, but he'd actually threatened, hadn't he, to do that? It was
Yes.
about 10 minutes beforehand that had a move down that side and moved the ball. There was a lot of good play coming down that right-hand side, for sure. Riggy involved in it, Brobbey holding the ball up, laying it off. And even when he wasn't quite getting the layoff, you could see what he was trying to do. I thought he
Mm,
looked really on it, for his spell on the pitch. What a handful
yeah.
he is. But yeah, lovely, lovely goal. I thought it deserved it, and actually, I thought Mukiele deserved it,
Yeah.
for his game today. And the keeper, I don't know. There was an angle that I saw on the stream I was watching where it looked to me like his own defender had blocked him a little bit, and the
Right.
defender just moved at the last moment, and not making excuses for him. It does look like the ball goes underneath his foot almost, but if I was to give him any room to manoeuvre, the keeper, I would say his own defender kind of blocked him a little bit. So, but what a goal, well deserved and well worked, and probably the best players in our side, all involved in that
Yeah.
game. Riggs part in it, Brobbey. Diarra had a little part in it, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then Mukiele galloping down there, but he almost did it about 10 minutes earlier. I think it was, and roughly the same players involved again.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. What about Diarra? What was your thoughts on Diarra's? I was looking forward to seeing him play. If I was thinking about what am I looking for out of this game, apart from all the cliches about these pre-season games, miles in the legs, connections on the pitch,
Yeah.
players getting on each other's radar, all that stuff. But I was looking forward to seeing Diarra play another game for us and
Mhm.
see. I'm really wanting that lad to give her a right good season this season. I'm looking for a bit more from him. I thought he played all right in
Did.
the time that he was on. He was a little bit fiery at the end before he went off there. I
He
don't know if
was,
you
wasn't he?
saw. Don't know what. I don't know what happened there. I'm thinking pre-season game, Habib, man, calm down. Yeah,
Bit
we
of
need
bit of
to
personality from him though. A bit of
great.
personality from him. I don't mind that sometimes. I know there's a time and a place, and if you're about to get subbed off, then fair enough. If you want to let your gob go a bit, but I don't mind it. And in terms of how he played, I thought he played really well. I thought him and
Mm,
Sadiki as a pair worked well. And what's
yes.
interesting is we're probably unlikely to see him and Sadiki as the base of any midfield that often, because you're going to get Granit Xhaka back soon, and he's going to probably play the next pre-season game, which is something to look forward to. We had no Enzo Lefebvre because he'd apparently
Yep.
picked up a slight knock and they weren't going to risk him.
Yep.
So that meant that Sadiki had to assume the Xhaka role and sit in
Mm,
front of the
mm,
defence, which he looks really comfortable doing.
mm.
And Diarra had to assume the Enzo Lefebvre role, which I don't think we've ever seen. I think normally he's kind of a sort of periphery figure in our midfield. You've got Xhaka on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
pitch, you've got
yeah,
Sadiki, you've got Lefebvre, and then Diarra. He's almost
yeah,
considered like that fourth player. And in this game, because those more experienced and players who've got a bit of initiative and like to take games by the scruff of the neck weren't on the pitch,
yeah,
it was on him to play his part, and I thought he did really, really well. And
yeah.
it helped. It does help when Wrexham basically just sit back because they never really put it on Sunderland. They didn't press us.
No,
Um, they didn't really look interested in pressing us either. I wonder if that was to do with the weather over there, because by all accounts, it was absolutely roasting hot,
even
really
yeah,
humid.
yeah,
Um, and you would imagine the tactics from Parkinson would have been, well, they're going to have all of the ball, so let's sit off, but not press too much. Let's not tire ourselves out too early. That helped Rig, Diarra, and Sadiki to basically dictate the ball and get about the
yeah,
pitch. And like I say, we're probably not going to get to see that too often in the Premier League because that's just not the way games go. So it is nice when you get that opportunity just to see what the lads can do with the break off sometimes.
yeah.
And we didn't, until towards the end of the season, we didn't really see it from the team. Really, that was, certainly the start of the season we did play with the handbrake on because we were feeling our way into the Premier League, and we were just trying to get points on the board. And once we got past that 40-point mark, we did kind of free ourselves up a bit, and you saw a different side to some of these players. So in the case of Diarra, Sadiki, and Rig in particular, it was just nice to see them playing with freedom and showing their class. And even the
Yeah.
even the commentators were talking about Chris Rig and saying, "This lad, 19-year-old, what a talent he is!" And he was marching around the pitch like an authoritative midfield player, and I really enjoyed it. It was great to see.
And I don't know, watching him these last three games, I'm not so sure that he's much of a Brazilian and likes the sun on his back, Riggy.
No,
But but I have to say I've really enjoyed his three games. He's just gotten incrementally better as the tour has gone on, and I think we sort of do everything that he's got in his armory. He's a lovely pass and move kind of player for me, and puts his
hmm
shift in as well. So yeah, Diarra, Sadiki, Rig, really enjoyed the performance out of them today. Really happy with what I saw on the pitch from them today.
yeah, yeah. Oh, and with Rig as well. What an environment to learn in. He gets to train every day with world class midfield players. So
Yeah.
And you combine that with fantastic coaching from the likes of Labris and the assistants, the experience you pick up in game time. And yeah, he's 19, but he's also in his 4th season, which is mad, really. This is his 4th season. You add all these things together, and then the most important ingredient, which is talent, and he's got bucket loads of talent. It's just a breeding ground for making Chris Rigg into a really good footballer. That's been one of the big highlights for me. I don't know about you from pre-season, but because of the lack of Sadiki and Diarra, certainly in the first 3 games, no Xhaka yet. It's allowed Rigg time to just. Obviously, these are games where we're trying to build fitness, but also at times on the pitch, he's been expected to sort of guide us through games, and I think he has. And I think again, we're just these no pressure games. We're seeing the best of some of the players. Rigg's got a big season ahead of him because he was almost ushered out onto the right hand side quite a bit last season and did well there at times, I think. But I think longer term, that's not his position. And with an increase in games, we're going to play more cup games this season, and particularly in Europe. He's going to get chances playing in his proper position. And it's again, it's just nice to see him doing his thing.
Lovely to see him doing his thing. And I mean, there's two sides to that, isn't there? He's getting an opportunity, but you've got to have the maturity and the intellect to be able to accept that opportunity and use it, And I think he's got that. I'm not saying anything that other people haven't said. I think there's a real football player in there. I sometimes watch him, and I'm going to hark back to the olden days here. I do sometimes watch him, and I think he doesn't play the same position as Colin Todd, but by God, he's got all the nuts and bolts that Toto had. I think he's going to be a cracking player. You've got to be able to use that opportunity, though. We've seen other players in the past that have huge potential, but it doesn't quite. For a number of reasons, possibly with those players, it doesn't quite work out for them. But this lad looks like he's putting the nuts and bolts together, and I really agree with you. This is a big season for him. I'm hoping that we'll see him a lot more because of the extra games we're going to play, and I'm hoping he's going to keep what we've seen in the last 3 games going for the duration of the season.
Yeah. And the first half, like I say, by the end of it, we were comfortably the better side. And I was a bit interested to see what happened at half time, but we'll talk about that when we come back from the break. So we'll see you all in a few minutes. And welcome back to Howie the podcast. And we're going to chat about the second half. And as I said before the break there, Kelvin, we made a couple of changes at half time. I was interested. I was thinking, are we going to see 45 minutes from the majority of the players that haven't played particularly much? Or are we going to get, an hour? And it seemed like the decision was an hour. And the only changes we made at the break were Ballard and Mundell coming off for Sealt and Angulo. Presume that was planned. There was maybe I know Ballard looked like he picked up a bit of a knock against Leeds, but he never played like he had a knock and seemed to do okay against Wrexham. Mundell had a canny enough half without really standing out, and on came Sealt and Angulo, and I'm really excited to see what Angulo can do. And really the second half was more a case of getting players on the pitch by sort of an hour in. But that first 15 minutes before we started making mass changes, it was great. Actually, it was really, really good. We didn't miss Ballard. Angulo came on and I think actually improved the left-hand side and gave us real raw pace and energy down that side. And it was just more of the same from us. I think we were dictating the play. The only gripe would be for me that we didn't get another goal in that period because I thought we played well enough to be at least 2 up, but we didn't particularly test the goalkeeper enough, but we still played well.
No, there was a cracking opportunity for Angulo, but he worked it quite well, and he just clipped the bar.
Yeah,
and I thought that was going to go in. I thought just the way he positioned himself, I thought this guy's going to score. He's going to score that coming in off the wing and curling it into the far post, So it was a good opportunity. He played well, Angulo. One of the things I really like about him is his energy. He's non-stop. He keeps working back. He doesn't let you down in terms of his effort, which I really like. And I think the more he plays, the better he'll get on the ball. I sometimes think he can be a little bit too quick or a little bit rash with the ball, but I thought he put a good 45 minutes in, and I do like him. I think there's a player in there. Somebody said to us not long after he arrived, I can't remember where I read this, that he's played wing back. He's played in a back five. And I mean, the first game I saw him play, I was kind of doubting that. But since I've seen him play a few times, I think, yeah, I could see that lad doing all right in that position. But I thought of the second half, I thought he put a mark on the second half. The quality dropped in the game as the second half wore on, and the game speed. Oddly, the quality dropped and the game speeded up. And I think because it was going, probably that was probably that caused some of the quality drop, the speed at which the players were trying to work. But he did himself no harm in that second half.
Yeah. And Nordi went off slightly before the rest of the group came off, and that looked like he might have picked up a little bit of a knock. Nothing too worrying. He still walked off. He was hobbling a little bit. And we haven't heard anything from Reggie Slibrees after the game. Obviously, we're recording this bang on full time pretty much, so we'll see what the crack was with it there. But I just think in these friendlies, they don't take any risks.
No.
We saw it with Ballard the other day. Even if you've taken a slight knock on the ankle or something, it's like, right, get yourself off. There's no need for you to carry on risking further injury. It's just a friendly. So let's hope that that's all that was. And then the next raft of changes came, which saw Brobbey, Diarra, Hume, Rigg, Sadiki, O'Nien, Ronaldo and Roofs all going off, with Archie Lightfoot, Timur Tutierov, Tom Proctor, Whittaker, Hjelde, Brown, Adingra and Patterson all coming on. That was interesting to see. Pato getting some minutes and taking the captain's armband. Might have just been a case of that. This might be his last game. I mean, even the commentators were talking about a potential move to Wrexham, which was interesting because he's been linked with them. And you're right. I think the quality did drop off, and you saw Wrexham's confidence grow because they saw how many changes we made. That was their sign to go for it a bit. Oh, they've took all that quality off and they've replaced them with kids. Let's have a bit more of a go. But even then, they didn't threaten us. I don't feel like Patterson had a great deal to do. And yes, I heard the commentator say that we were under the cosh, but I honestly didn't see it. Yes, the quality dropped, and we weren't on the ball as much, but we didn't look under threat. We never had we were never in a position where we looked like we were going to concede particularly. And actually, I thought so you can probably separate that half an hour in two. The first 15 minutes of it, yes, Wrexham had more of the ball. They dominated it a little bit and they were zipping it about a bit more. But then after that, I actually thought some of the young'uns grew into it a bit. And we actually had a couple of chances, actually. There was a couple where we just didn't have the quality. There was one where Angulo had been slipped in behind, where we nearly had an opportunity from that. Adingra got a couple of shots away. But like, I was a bit worried because I was thinking, you know what it is? That was such a good hour. I don't want us to lose, because I actually think we deserve to win the game. But we made so many changes. There's always that risk, isn't there? And we saw it against Liverpool, for instance, where against Liverpool we were a better team, and then we just dropped off because of the amount of young'uns we brought on. But actually, they did all right. They didn't. There was you're so right though. The quality did drop off, and I think for a few of these lads, it's been a bit of a probably a good chance to see where they're at in terms of how close they are to playing first team football. One or two of them have done well. One or two of them maybe look like they're a bit behind, but that's fine. And I think you're right. As the half wore on, we did drop off that little bit, but it wasn't worrying by any means.
I wasn't overly concerned. I think Dingra's interesting, isn't it? I did want to mention him. I was when he came on. I wonder what the plan is for him. I wonder if has he gotten so much game time because they're putting him in the shop window, or is he gotten so much game time because they've genuinely been having a look to see whether he's got anything to offer Sunderland this coming season?
Bit of both, probably, you would think. I think wasn't Reggie asked about it. I don't know if he'd done. There was some sort of media done. I don't know if it was in house or whether they'd done like a Zoom with the local journals or whatever, where he was able to talk to them. Because I don't think any of the press are out there. But there was some sort of comment about a Dingra, and it was he basically wasn't being drawn on it, and it said, he's he basically said that the door's not closed on him, and
okay.
But that might have just been him being fair to him rather than he doesn't want to cut. Oh yeah, Simon Dingra's away when we need him for these games. I think the truth's probably somewhere in the middle. You're probably touching on the truth there, where it's the case of he is being put in the shop window, but also, we still need to keep him fit because we might need him at some point.
It will be interesting to see how that all pans out. For me, flatters to deceive a little bit. I think he's got moments, and he had moments in that second half where you thought he was going to be away, and he looks really, really quick when he gets going, but and then it doesn't come to much. It's hard. It's a hard one to judge that. But just a word as well about Jansen Jones. That lad's grown into the pre-season tour as well. I thought he did all right in the second half. I thought and I know he had quite a hard start in the last game against Leeds, but then sorted himself out, I thought, and got himself into the game. He looks like he'll be a player with a bit of potential to come. But Tutorov, we didn't see much from him in the second half. But I thought the ball, you always wonder with these young lads if they were slipped on whilst the more experienced lads were on. Would we see more of them? Would we get more out of them?
Yeah. Diarra, though, against Leeds was put centre forward for a good half an hour or so. Against a really good Leeds defence. Mahoromovic and Joe Roden were the two centre halves, and he got him behind them 3 or 4 times playing as a forward where he doesn't normally play. And then when he moved out onto the wing, he was still involved against what I would say was a better team than Wrexham. So I think you're very right to point that out, that against better players. With better players, you would probably say a bit more. And this is something which I think, was it Chris or Martin? One of them said on one of the pods earlier in the tour. I think it might have been Martin, but it said basically, would it be fair to say that some of the better players would look better with some of the better players, the better young'uns? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and it's a bit of a shame. It's a bit of a shame we're not gonna. We're not going to say. I actually think, Alan, I don't know if you agree with this, but I think this might be the last time we see some of these lads play as well.
I heard the preview pod and really agreed with the point. I think all of yous agreed on the preview pod that this might happen, and I think that it's about right. It's about right, isn't it? We've only got two more warm-up games to play, so we need to be sort of narrowing in, fine-tuning what the team's going to be and how we're going to play, and getting those connections on the pitch that Lebris likes to talk about going. I would say it's about right. It's been a good exercise, the USA tour, though, hasn't it? I think it's been good to see the young'uns getting a chance and getting a run. It's put some miles in the legs of the players. Good to get some of them World Cup boys back in again and see them, getting turned around and facing in the direction of the season to come, rather than where they've just been. So
Aye.
I think it's been a really, really useful sort of pre-season tour, that one. Aye.
Definitely has. No, it definitely has. I think even in the 2 games which we lost, there were massive positives to take.
Yeah.
And in all 3 games, there were dramatic drop-offs in quality when we swapped the side around. And you've got to take that into account when looking at the results. Like, I think when we had the strongest side out that we could play, we looked good in all 3 games. So I'm I'm coming out with this with massive positives, massive positives. I think it's been worthwhile as a trip. I think when you see the from the marketing side of things and the interaction with supporters out there and all that, the club have done brilliant. I've loved seeing all of it. Loved seeing all the fans out there having fun, seeing them interacting with the players getting involved in various things, taking Super Kevin Bawley out there to meet people has been great. But on the pitch, there's been loads of positive stuff. And from a fitness perspective, playing in that kind of heat and humidity will have done us wonders. That might not feel like it tonight, by the way. They'll be knackered, I'm sure.
No,
but
no.
by the time they get on that plane, they land back and they have maybe a day off to just get over the jet lag and see their families and stuff, and they're back in training, they'll feel really good from the hard work that they've put in over there. And I think we saw that on the pitch, because you know what it is, in that game today, there were lads who've barely got any minutes, really, and they're only sort of 5 weeks or whatever since playing at the World Cup. I don't think it might even been shorter, some of them. And yet they look so sharp. Brobbey at times, I mean, other than in front of goal, was brilliant at times. And like, all those things are a testament to the work they've put in, really. For me, is when you do all that graft on the training ground and all the fitness stuff with the coaches to ensure that you're in a good position come the season starting. And for me, after 4 games, we look really sharp, and that's the most pleasing thing for me.
Good stuff. Totally agree with that. I was going to ask you, Jensen Sealed. What thoughts on Jensen? Is he going to be a player in the squad this coming season? Or
I mean, I would never write any player off, but I just look at his kind of rap sheet and think he's been injured too much. And it's not his fault. He got a really bad injury which kept him out a long time. Came back, start of pre-season last year was his comeback from that injury. And because we didn't have the bodies, we hadn't signed Alderete by that point. I think Nordi came in late. Hertrauder didn't come in till the end of the window. Sealed got his chance in that West Ham game and looked a little bit short of what we needed, and then ended up being subbed off. And then after that was kind of farmed out and went to Germany, where he only played a handful of games because of injuries.
Right.
And yes, he's fit and he's back now, but I just think you get all that, you take all of that, what I'm talking about, all the things he's had to deal with, and then you add to that the significant jump in quality, and it's going to be hard to see where he gets the minutes he needs at his age. I think he'll probably want to go. I think you consider Alderete has not kicked the ball yet in pre-season. We're apparently looking to sign somebody who can play at the back. We might sign another left back by the time we've played another game. All these things are going to add and they're going to make the competition greater, and maybe they'll for his betterment, he probably needs to play 30 games somewhere, doesn't he? Go away, play 30 games at a good level, and then reassess. If he if he could get a good loan somewhere and have a cracking season, be their player of the season, there's no reason why you couldn't consider him as part of the squad next year. But I just think there's a few players in the same boat as him. Maybe Alan Brown's another one. You just, I don't know whether it's for the best of these players go somewhere else. But if we kept him around, he's a handy deputy. I trust him more than I do Hjelde. And, I've got nothing against Hjelde, but I think Sealt looks more assured, and he's got probably a better range of passing and looks more like a centre-half to me than Hjelde does. So I wouldn't be against keeping him around, but I just think the club are very good at knowing when the time's right to move players around and what to do best by them. And
as well,
what's the best thing for Sealt? Probably to go and play games. But he hasn't done himself any harm in these games. He's looked okay.
No, he's looked all right. He's looked all right. That was a lovely little. He'd only been on the pitch a minute or two, and he chested the ball back there. I
Yes.
think Pato was on the pitch. I thought, wow, you're a cool. I'd, if that had been me, I'd have been blootering it as far as I could, But he just turned and sort of chested it back to him. I thought, wow, you're a cool bugger. So you are.
He did okay. He
Yeah,
did okay.
he did.
Should
He did.
should we? I tell you what we'll do. We'll do something a little bit different around off, Kelvin. We'll do some player ratings. We'll take a player each at a time, right? And we'll give them a score out of 10 for how they played. I'll let you start with Robin Roofs. What do you reckon out of 10?
He didn't have much to do, but what he did pretty well. I'd give him 8 out of 10.
8. Oh, that's a strong score for somebody who had little to do. But I think he did well on the ball. You're right. Nordi Mukiele, I'll take him. I thought he was excellent. Yeah. I mean, if you're giving 8s for Robin Roos, I'm going to have to give Nordi a 9. We've set the bar high early doors. I thought Nordi was very good, though. He played fantastic. He was great defensively, great going forward, really good goal, always a threat, looks really sharp. And I'm gutted he's played so well at right back because I've been trying to make the case for him as a centre half. And it's going to be hard now to see where he fits into this defence. But he's the first name on the team sheet for me. He's brilliant. So I'll give him a 9. Dan Ballard for you?
Yeah. He got stuck in, played well. What he had to do, he did well. But the defence weren't under too much pressure. But I mean, your Wrexham forward line only played as well as they let them, So
And he had a big boy against him, didn't he? In Kifamura. So he had to do his
yeah. No,
yeah.
it wasn't like he had nobody up there, But
yeah.
I'd give him an 8 for the time he was on the pitch.
Yeah. Look, 9 for me, and I'd give him an 8 as well. I thought he was really good on the ball. I love this about him against Leeds as well. Just you can tell that he was a midfielder once because he's so comfortable in possession, but he's a million times better on the ball than when he first signed for us. He's worked on that side of his game so much, and with his left foot, he's just brilliant. Like you couldn't believe that. You talk about hard work. There's somebody who's put the work in to get his left foot as good as he's right. And the way he zips the ball across the field sometimes with that left peg's fantastic. I mean, he didn't have a massive amount to do from a defensive perspective, but I just really like watching Luke play. Led the team well, so yeah, an 8 for him. Ronaldo, for you?
Yeah, 7. Nothing wrong with his game. Got forward, linked up well. I think he got caught once, but I think that was more him dancing forward when he perhaps he shouldn't have. I think he got caught once when he was on there with their forward player coming, into space that I felt he should have been in. But I've maybe been a bit hard on him. I'd still give him a 7 for his performance.
Yeah,
he's a super cool dude, isn't he? Isn't he just cool? He's such a cool cat.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Diarra, I'll give him a solid 8. I thought he played really well, as I said earlier, and just took a different role on the pitch than he normally does. Sadiki, for you?
Yeah, again, God, this is sounding boring, but I thought he played. He showed that he could play in that hole in front of the defence, didn't he? He looks like he really enjoys playing there to me, because I have seen him play there before. I was trying to think of the game where I saw him play. Maybe it was just a half or something.
Well, he did it. He did it against Leeds, didn't he, when he came on?
Aye.
But that was only for a short period, obviously, because he came on as a sub.
I'd give him an 8. I thought he played very, very played well.
Yeah. And I'd follow that up with another 8 for Chris Rigg. I thought he was fantastic. In a more traditional position than he's normally in. Look, Tricky was gaining praise from the commentators for his performance who don't normally watch him. So yeah, Chris Rigg an 8 for me. Trey Hume out on the wing, sort of, as an author. I don't know what position he is playing, but it's interesting. He's kind of there just to do a few different roles, isn't he? But Trey Hume, solid enough.
Solid. I understand why he's out there, and I mean, to be fair, I think he gives Mukiele a license to get down there, doesn't he? and offers that kind of cover. Two totally different players. Sorry, a totally different player. But when Bobby Kerr and Dick Malone used to play together, Bobby Kerr used to do that for Tricky Dicky, used to get down the wing and Kerr would be standing behind him. So I can see what the plan is there, but I don't know. That how much does he bring to the game going forward? Is the question I've got. What he had to do, he did well. I'd probably give him a 7.
Yeah. Nearly scored as well. It was a good tackle from Callum Doyle to prevent him from putting the ball in the back of the net.
He meant that tackle, didn't he, Doyle?
He did. He did indeed. He did indeed. And I think he played the ball into Brobbey for the goal as well.
Yeah.
Which so Trey Hume did okay. Yeah, fine by me. Mundell, okay, 7 out of 10. Nothing to write home about. Looked the threat, had good pace. I would like to see him do that trademark Romain Mundell run inside and shot a little bit more. We haven't seen it in pre-season yet, but he did okay. I'll give him a 7. And to round off the first half team, Brian Brobbey, Kelvin.
I knew I'd end up getting him. Well, I mean, he's so entertaining to watch. Is there another player like him in the Premiership? Is there another
in the world? In the world, Kelvin. Genuinely is there? Because I don't know of one.
He's just so entertaining to watch, and with Diarra, Sadiki, Riggy running either side of him, those connections can only get better if they keep working on them. And if we can keep him on the pitch, because he was making his mouth go a little bit at one point to the ref. He's got that side to him. Now, I tell you, one of the commentators was making a point about him. He gets these fouls given him against him in the box and on the edge of the box, and there was one in the first half. And I've said it myself, if he would just stop grabbing the defender's shirt, he would probably get more free kicks and penalties given against him. I don't know that it feels like a simple thing to stop doing, but it is I don't know who it was that said it to me. He's keeping himself upright when he's grabbing the shirt, he's because he's leaning quite heavily on the defender. But no, I'd give him an 8. It was a lovely layoff for Mukiele's goal. It was a lovely touch for a big roughhouse laddie. He's got a sublime touch, hasn't he? When it suits his fettle, he'd be a very frustrating player to play against. I would imagine. When 1 minute he's keeping two of yous from getting at the ball, and then the next minute he's playing a pass like that. You're thinking, oh, this boy's got everything. So I'd give him an 8 and say I'm looking forward to seeing more from him as well this coming season.
I'll quickly rattle through some of the subs. Angulo, solid 7, unlucky not to score. Sealt, as we talked about before, 7. If we're talking 7 being average, did okay. Adingra, 6.5. We'll go with. Didn't do too much. I feel a bit sorry for him. He's playing on the right, which isn't his position. I'd like to see him on the left a little bit. Maybe we'll see that in the closing games. Alan Brown, same, 6.5, 7, something like that. Patterson, I thought did okay actually.
I would put him up at an 8. There was a little bit of pressure on. He had a lovely punch out, didn't he? Under pressure, he punched the ball out when we were under quite a lot of pressure. And I thought he did a couple of saves that you would expect him to make, but he was in the right place. And
What about man the match then? What about man the match then? Do you reckon? Because I'm struggling between two, so I'll see what you say first.
Well, again, probably struggling between two, but Mukiele and Riggy for me. Them two were the two that impressed me the most in the period that they were on.
I was going Nordi and Brobbey, but now you've said Riggy, I could make a case for him. Let's go with Nordi then, since he's the only one we both had. Yeah,
There you go.
fantastic performance from Nordi Mukiele, and he gets our man of the match. Thank you very much, Kelvin. Been a pleasure, mate.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Yes, you
You're
too, buddy.
looking very. That sunbird's working for you, boy.
That's Roker beach tan, that. I've been on the beach all day today, down Roker. It's great weather. People out swimming in the sea, you know. It's been lovely today. So I've caught a bit of the sun, but people at home can't see it, so they'll just have to take your word for it. Thank you to our listeners for joining us again today. We've got another pod dropping in the morning. I think you're on that one again, Kelvin, because it's a Roker rewind tomorrow. Which is always fascinating when you lads get together to chat about a bit of Sunderland history. What's the topic of conversation this time around?
Well, actually, I'm not on that one.
Sorry, mate. I just presumed you were on that one.
No, I'm trying to remember. Do you know where I was? Yes, I was at the Commonwealth Games.
All right,
I was at the Commonwealth Games watching my nephew running the 10,000 meters. How's that for
brilliant.
a bit of?
That's a good excuse, Kelvin, to not be on a recording. I've got to say. So I wish I'd known that. But yes, we do have a Roker rewind coming tomorrow, so make sure you catch that. There's loads to catch up on the feeds. Look through our catalogue over the summer. There is so much that you might have missed that is still very relevant to listen to. So go back, get subscribed to How the Podcast. We're going absolutely nowhere over the summer, and I'm sure as the transfer window hots up a little bit, things will ramp up, certainly on our perspective too, with talking about new players and all that other fun stuff. But we will be podding around the Lens game next week as well, so don't go anywhere. We will be with you right through the summer and leading up to the new season. Cheers, Kelvin. Thanks, mate.
Cheers. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks, listeners. We'll see you tomorrow.